Hi, everybody.
Hi.
That's
I'm some guy. I'm Eugene.
and I'm Eddie, and we are.
Middle-aged Barbarians. We're just sitting here reminiscing, looking at some old classics like this beautiful book.
Yeah, it's very fascinating to look
Book
back.
of Vile Darkness.
It's pretty fun. I mean, cartoonish kind of the fun of the sort of evil, and to see listed the bad things you can do is pretty amusing.
Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff in here. You know where there's... I was going to say a lot of cool stuff too, but I don't know. Look, a knoll. I love knolls. You guys like knolls? I don't know if you can see that, but it's a knoll. I miss knolls.
Knolls are interesting. They're no longer a basic monster.
I don't know. They've kind of phased out. I don't remember. I mean, I'm sure they're there somewhere. I just don't.
Yeah, and well, you know, with the new philosophy, you could basically take a Goliath and say that it has a hyena head, and that's a knoll.
No, I'm sure it's in the monster manual.
Yeah,
no,
of
what I
course.
was looking for is the blackguard and the thong. Remember
that
the
would be
thong
the.
blackguard? What was that?
It's not a blackguard. It's one of the demon lords, not demon, archdevils. It's Belial and Fierna.
Was that in this book?
Yeah, that's in that book. It's
Oh.
a little bit over there, but yeah, we
I'm
won't
going to
show
set
that.
this aside for later then and do
Yes.
that on me time, not our time. So reminiscing and talking about the new edition or the new the revision. Did they finally figure out what the hell they're calling it?
There's no official new name. Just
Is it a
2024.
5.5? Is it the 2024?
5.24, maybe.
The 1 D&D?
No one knows.
No one knows yet. I mean, it's just called Dungeons and Dragons, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, probably like those reboot of movies that they just become the original, a new version of the original in a way.
Yeah.
That's-
I mean, so we feeling nostalgic, reminiscing a little bit. Kind of wanted to ask you, is there anything that you miss or anything that you wish they'd put in this?
I mean, obviously, you can always play the older editions and work with that. But one of the main things that I really, really miss is the more detailed world building. I feel like a lot of the world building, I mean, I understand why it's that way, but I feel like a lot of my enjoyment back in the day for D&D was reading all this complex campaign settings and kind of feeling like it was history of an actual history of an alternate world, and kind of immerse myself in it. But I mean, that's kind of more literary and more of a.
Yeah, but I think it is necessary. I mean, I'm sure at some point in time I must have sat down and read through it. Maybe not in the later editions, but you need a base. You need something to work off of, I think.
Yeah, as a DM, as a player, I don't know if the player experience works. I mean, me as a player, I always like when the DM kind of was very deep in the lore, then it worked with us. But yeah, I feel kind of, I don't know, I mean, obviously we are talking a lot about the mechanics because it's the easier thing to talk about the changes. But you can also see a lot of philosophy, and I don't know, I feel like a little bit the role-playing is being diminished a little bit. I don't know if you feel the same with this whole way the new editions are being made.
We were playtesting just last week, and I was talking to our DM because I get to play with them, and he's actually one of the producers here with us, and he was kind of giving me his thoughts, which, I mean, for him to open up and share his thoughts is something
incredible.
It's very
Yes.
special. So I appreciate that. Kind of telling me that, you know, I mean, back in the day, like we usually say, it wasn't like you had to have a whole story planned out. The story came from the adventures. The simplicity in the dungeon delving and in the exploration and the exchanges between the characters is what made the story in a way.
Oh.
Because part of what he critiqued was that I mean, you can spend the whole time writing, and it's not going to do anything if you don't actually hook in the players. So why not let the players hook themselves into it? Which I thought was really interesting. A different way, at least from what I'm used to doing.
Yeah, I guess probably that's why they focus so much on backgrounds and those sort of elements. They give them a mechanical weight because
But I mean, an issue that I've had, independent of the new way of backgrounds working. How much backstory can you actually give your character if he's a level 1 character?
Yeah, of course.
I know I had a friend up north that he was starting to play, and I asked him, "Oh, so you finally decide what you're playing?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm gonna be a rogue." And then he's like this really scary killer, and he's taking down regents and people and kings and this and that, and he works for this company and that.
You're
And
level
like,
1.
damn, dude, you guys are just starting to play. What level are you? Oh, I'm just a level 1 rogue. I'm like, dude, you can get killed by a rat. What is this big story that you're making? It's crazy. So I don't know if all this importance on background itself is more detrimental or not to making an actual character that I can develop more. I don't know. It's kind of like if I spend all my creative juice on its past, how much do I put in the actual present? Or how much am I playing in the past?
Of course. Yeah, maybe that's us being lost in our different styles as well. But yeah, I remember most of my most memorable adventures were when the players kind of went off the rails and did their own thing. So I guess it kind of makes sense to work that way. So maybe prompts will work as well. Or how would you teach that or organize that?
With like my noob group, which I call them affectionately, we finally reached level 4, so they're growing little by little. It's a challenge, especially because they're older players. I think it's easier to lose yourself in the fantasy at a younger age. You can acquire that ability of, I don't know if you'd call it an ability, or the like taking up that persona. Maybe the older we get, or the more disaccustomed we are to that childish side, like real life and
Play.
yeah, the actual art of playing gets lost a little bit the older we get. I'm talking about like normies. I'll call them normies, not gamers,
Or not even people that are really into geeky stuff sometimes.
Yeah, so I try to gently push them into being their characters in like when they describe what they're going to do. It's not just, oh, I'm going to do this. No, tell me, how do you do it? What do you want to do? Describe it a little bit. If they want to talk to another player character, I'm like, hey, I'm not here. Turn and look at your player character, which is actually something that I also talked with the DM that day, that because we were talking about like DM screens and different sizes. We were just setting up everything before the game, and I was telling him that I usually use like a little small screen, just to cover the dice roll. And he's like, well, I back the original players used to have huge sheets or actual screens, like cloth screens that they would sit behind. You'd have almost like this Wizard of Oz kind of thing, so the characters won't be looking at the DM. Because he was saying sometimes they'll look at you and they'll try to gauge what you're thinking or how you're reacting to what they're doing to see if they're on the right path or not. So, I mean, where do I sin a little bit? I'm not so much that I railroad my characters, but I do have like a storyline that I would want them to go down. And maybe I don't make it evident that they can stray. It's like a bird in a cage with an open door, but if he's always been in the cage, he doesn't know he can fly out,
Of course. So, yeah. I mean, we kind of went into another direction.
No, but we're talking about the world building aspect of the newer editions and character creations, if it helps or not. So we're on par. We're good.
Yeah, I'm guessing. Probably this is probably going to be in the DM's guide anyway. So yeah, how would you apply it? I don't know if they've done actual like research themselves, wizards, on how to work role playing and actual tips. That would be interesting to have like actual, because they do a ton of play testing, so they could probably have some experts into that.
I don't know.
Like sort of a DM school, like what we try to do at the beginning on our first videos.
Yeah. There's a lot of people out there But like an official voice from the talking head, I don't know.
That would be good. I mean, with actual research, like, because I mean, well, you tried a little bit on your own thesis, but I'm sure some people have done actual research, and we can do some interesting things with that. What else would I have liked? I kind of miss. I don't know how open the system is to do weird stuff, because I remember how good it was to move the technological advancement.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going down a different path.
No, but technological advancement is something interesting. I mean, not going full modern, but from really, really, I don't know, primitive or non-metal based technology to more closer to Renaissance. You could do some interesting things with technology, and the mix of technology with magic. We'll have to see. Maybe they have done something with that, but I don't know. I think that would be something that you could show and work with that. That would be on my wish list. That interplay.
Yeah, it sounds. I think I want to say that there are. I mean, they're going to have to include something with the staircase, the infinite staircase, because Barrier Peak has futuristic weapons. But I don't know if somewhere along the lines they'll have that sweet middle spot that you're talking about.
Yeah, I remember. I mean, back in the day, where we saw it was not a Wizards product; it was a third-party one. But I think they did it very well. Was in Ravenloft in 3rd edition.
Yeah,
where they had the very different technological levels, and you can actually get a player from one region that went into another domain, and they could go with guns. But since the new region didn't have guns, well, how do they get bullets?
Well, you're mentioning guns now. There's been just offhanded mentions of the artificer. I keep saying artificer. They mentioned it in the interviews, like the class reveals, but it's not going to be in the core book. And I think that's something that maybe that'll be something cool that'll come out. There'll be like a more tech, like a steampunk or a mage tech kind of mix there, and they'll introduce the artificer, and maybe the warforged will be in there.
Yeah, it would make sense. Thematically, it makes sense to sort of add on this sort of supplement.
Yeah, I mean that'd be.
I mean, the thing is D&D has so much material that it's hard to bring everything back. But yeah, I kind of mix that sort of mechanical steampunkish, like you said, or magecrafty thing, because like we have talked a lot outside of the videos. Magic would change radically the way societies work. I mean, you could do so many things with that.
Yeah. I don't know. I always look at the camera and I say, "What do you guys think? What would you like to see?" But I mean, earnestly, I know we've gotten like some negative comments on videos before. We know there's a lot of negativity toward a bunch of changes and stuff. Well, maybe there's something positive we can say, or maybe there's something we can look forward to. I mean, we can always look forward to going back to 4th edition. I'm open to that anytime you guys want. But yeah, I mean, leave us your comments. Let us know. Is there something you're looking forward to amongst all this
stuff?
Loud, blatant negativity. I mean, I'm sure the game is the game. I think it's really more about who you're playing with and the style of how you want to run the game. You're not going to limit yourself just because they tell you this is the...
Of course. Yeah, I mean, just tips and, like you say, better resources apply to what the game is. But yeah, the game at the end of the day is the people, actually, so...
Yeah. But let us know. Let us know in the comments if you have...
The Discord and all the other social stuff that's below.
It's in the description.
Yeah, the description. There you go. That's how you say it.
And...
as always,
kick us out. I don't know.
As always, remember to
raid responsibly.
Take care, everybody.
Yeah, I don't know. It's been a weird.
Yeah.
And we'll leave it at that.
Okay. Cheers.